everybody, welcome back to this series about Instagram. This is number 3 in a 4-part series. So if you haven't seen the other ones already, make sure you go catch them. I'm gonna leave the links to those in the description below, and you can also find the latest one right up here. If we're just meeting, my name is Caroline Ravn. I'm a full-time magician and YouTuber. I've been getting a lot of questions about my Instagram. I get questions like, how do you grow a following? How do you book interviews? How do you do the swipe up thing on Instagram? So I decided to do a 4-part series about how I do these things. So in this video, I'm gonna walk you through a couple of things that I would have done if I just started my Instagram, or if I decided to take it more seriously and wanted to grow it a bit more. First thing I would do is to just write out a bio. It doesn't have to be anything too fancy. Just put in your name, what you do, maybe you have a website and all of that. That's all you need really. If you do in fact have a website, make sure you put that there. That's actually one of the very few ways, if you don't have 10,000 followers, where you can actually add a link. If you're doing Instagram lives, you can also use them there. That's like the 2.0 version. And if you're doing like a campaign, or if you want people to sign up for your newsletter or whatever, you can always use that link in your bio and change that as many times as you want. You can do that whenever you want. I will also make sure that I actually use a profile picture, of course. If you're getting any value of this, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Another thing that I would do is to plan out my first post. If I was to just start, I would definitely plan my first 12 to 16 posts so I know what's gonna happen. I'm a magician, so most of the things that I post is about either me as a performer, my props, my cards, or whatever it is that I'm doing. Also make sure you do it consistently. Decide for yourself, okay, maybe I will do Mondays and Fridays, then stick to Mondays and Fridays. But I don't recommend you doing something that's too overwhelming, like, oh, I'm gonna post twice a day, because that's actually very hard when you're just getting started and you're only gonna let yourself down and you're not gonna feel good about yourself. So I definitely recommend you starting small and then upscaling as soon as you can. I'd also make sure that I connect with my niche audience and my community. A really good way to do this is to start commenting and liking and following the other people that are in your niche. So in my case, I would search for the top magicians that I know. All the people that I know that are famous, I would go in there and check what they're doing, commenting, making sure that I'm interacting with the community. And that's also a great way for people to see you. Another great thing is to comment on other people's comments. Let's say you go into an account, you see someone commenting something smart or funny, you can always comment on that and be like, oh my god, you're so great, and then go into that account. One of my side hustles, let's call it that, is to create playing cards. And the way that I found my designer that I've been working with for 5 years now was through Instagram. So we both were interested in playing cards and we found each other there. I think I found him first. I'm gonna call it, I found him first. So we started talking to each other on the DM, sharing things that we liked, and it turns out we lived in the same country and I flew up to see him. Long story short, now we've printed like 30,000 playing cards, which is ridiculous and it's amazing. And that is just connecting through the same niche that we were in. So now you might be thinking to yourself, okay, how do I find people in my niche? This is where the search bar is amazing. So you go into the search bar and you just search for, in my case, magic or playing cards. You can search for places, people, or hashtags. So go into that hashtag. In my case, I would go like magician or female magician and see what's going on. And I found so many people that are so amazing that I follow on a regular basis. So if you're posting something, make sure that you too use the hashtag so that other people can find you as well. I would definitely try Instagram Reels. If you don't know what Reels are, it's kind of a new thing on Instagram. If you've tried TikTok, or if you've ever seen a TikTok, then you're gonna absolutely understand what Instagram Reel is. It's basically the same thing, they just call it something different. And I think it's kind of funny that they announced that they're gonna do it when America was like, you know, we're gonna ban TikTok in this country, and Instagram is like, huh, what a coincidence, here you have Reels. Coincidence? I think not. Another thing that I would definitely do is to schedule Instagram lives, and I would tell everyone, like on my Facebook, my YouTube, my newsletter, everywhere, on my website, I would talk about this upcoming Instagram live and I would invite people to it. So I would not just sit there myself, I would interview people in my niche. So find someone that you're very interested in and connect with them. Send them a message. If you want to get more notable or get more interviews yourself, you can always search for the either journalist or podcaster or YouTuber on Instagram, and you can send them a direct message. If I were to do that, I would probably try to first go follow them, I would like some of their stuff, I would comment something, maybe we have something in common even, and pitch an idea, maybe a project I'm working on. Or maybe there's something just happened in the world and you're like, huh, I have a spin on this. Most journalists and podcasters and content creators are always looking for new ideas. I would put a lot of effort into my Instagram stories as well, and I would make sure that I use hashtag in those all the time. So I get loads of questions about how I use my Instagram stories. I either, you know, use a fun filter, like I had pink hair the other day, but most of the time I actually use this camera that I'm recording on. This is a Lumix G7. I absolutely love it. I've had it for years. It's amazing. So I take photos with this, and then I use one of these things. This is probably the best thing I've ever bought on Amazon. Amazing. So it's a SD card to, is this called lightning cable? Well, what it is, it's you put your SD card in here, you plug this into your iPhone, and you direct import it into your phone. And it's so quick and it's amazing. You take the perfect photo on your camera, you bring it into your phone, my personal favorite app for editing is Facetune. This is not sponsored in any way. It's the absolute best app for that. So that helps me with, you know, sharpening, whitening some parts, and bringing out shadows and details. I absolutely love it. I use it all the time for all my posts, but I don't really use it for all my stories when I have the filter. But if I want to take like a really nice photo, also for my thumbnails, this is exactly what I do. I go into Facetune and I just tweak some parts and it looks really, really good. If I can give one last piece of advice, I would make sure that I stick to my niche. When you've decided your niche, make sure you stick to it. So, I mean, it's fine if you use your Instagram stories to tell which restaurant you went to, or maybe you bought something fun and you want to assemble that, put that into your stories. But make sure that the feed is very clear, especially if you're trying to get more notable and trying to become more Instagram famous, or if you want to get interviews. Make sure your feed is super clear on what you do, so the journalists or podcaster or whatever easily scroll through and know, oh, okay, this is a magician, or this is a singer, or this is a carpenter, whatever it is. Make sure it's super easy for them. When you've gained some followers, I think it's a really good idea to start asking questions. Ask questions in your stories. You can do polls, you can ask questions, you can do ask me anything. I think that's a really good way to interact with your followers, and make sure that you interact with them as well. I think the most comments I've ever gotten was when I posted a photo where I said, there was like nothing. I was like, cake or pie? And I got so many questions. People were like, you know, crazy about pie or cake. And I was like, what? That was a really good way for me to actually have people interact and talk to each other. That was it for this week's video. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't already subscribed, it's about time. About 70% of the people watching this channel are not subscribed. In the fourth and last part of this Instagram series, I'm gonna be talking about how you can monetize on your social media, and especially Instagram. Make sure you turn on notifications so you don't miss when that's out. I'm gonna be sharing all the links to all the equipment that I'm using, so you can see in the description below, especially where you can buy this thing, because this is amazing and it's gonna definitely change your life. Okay, talk to you soon. Okay, bye!